Hey everybody, welcome back to Fyr's Frontier, and today, ladies and gentlemen, is a special episode for two reasons. Number one, World Download Day. Link will be in the description. The very first world download, actually, that I put out for this world. So you guys are getting the very first one right off the bat in episode number 20. And I'll hopefully in that download, I'll give you guys a few little tidbits, a few little coordinates as to where you might want to go to explore some things. But the second thing, and that is what today's video is a world tour. I mean, there's not much here, but we're going to do as much of a world tour as we possibly can. We're only 20 episodes in, although the series has lasted for about 10 months now. We're only 20 episodes in, so that's about 2 episodes a month. It's pretty abysmal, to be honest. But we have gotten some pretty nice builds done in this world, and I think you guys will enjoy those. So guys, without further ado, I don't want to keep you guys waiting for too long. It is world tour time. Let's get started. So I won't be actually going over to where we first started this series off, but if you haven't seen it yet, I definitely recommend checking out episode 1. Our spawn chunks are actually way over a good, I don't know, maybe 500 blocks away from where our main base is. We spawn on top of I believe in a forest biome. On top of a hill, and I decided I didn't want to build there because first off, we were on top of a hill, and this is amplified. This would be terrible to get around in. But second off, I wanted to explore around a little bit and see if there was a better place in this world, because this world was a random seed. I had no idea what the world was going to look like when we first spawned in. I wanted to see if there was a better place near spawn where we could have a base, and I stumbled upon this jungle that we are currently sitting in right now. This is where our main base is. I'm basically sitting in the center of our main base area that we have so far, that is. I'm sitting in the center of it right now. We've got a forest over here with actually a really nice forest area with a few floating islands over there. We've got an extreme hills to our back when we have a jungle to our side. So a lot of cool little biomes around here that I thought would be a pretty nice little centerpiece for this world. But one of the first things I built, and we'll get to some of this stuff in a minute, but one of the first things I built in this area was this up here. This is our starter tower. Most people, they have starter houses, and I built starter houses before, but Wells Knight gave me the idea of, by watching his videos, I guess, he gave me the idea of having a starter tower, and I went with this sort of weird style of jungle wood with stone and stone brick and cracked stone brick. It's a very interesting combination. Obviously, this was done in 1.13 because this world was started in 1.13, one of the first pre-releases, I believe. So we didn't have any of the new stairs and slabs, but I think that this turned out pretty well. And if we head on inside, this is what I decided to do for the main floor. We've got our furnaces, nothing automatic, our first brewing stand in here, a bed, just a few odds and ends, our ender chest, a nice little design for a floor rug here. And if we head up to the second floor, we have our enchantment setup, a few extra things around here, and our storage area where we store the vast majority of our stuff right now. I'm currently in the process, as a lot of you guys have seen, building a temple that will be our storage area. But this was our main storage area when we first started off, and I thought it'd be, I thought it would be temporary. It's not really temporary anymore. Not so temporary, but it still works, and we're in the process of getting a new storage area, so that's all good and dandy. Now, if we head on up to the top of this tower, this is sort of a newer-ish build. This is my comment tower. So at the end of every single episode, I read off a comment from one of you guys and include it in the video and explain it and talk about it, that sort of thing. So I decided to make a tower, since we were already doing a sort of tower theme, to house all of the comments. The reason this tower is so big is because I plan to have this series go on for hundreds of episodes. So why not make a tower that can hold hundreds of episodes of comments? Every single chest has an individual comment from an episode in it. Let's pick up, episode number 4 has a comment from Imran Gets Crafty. Nice little comment here. And I can put the book back in here. I had tested out using barrels in this once 1.14 came out, but I decided that barrels didn't really look that good in this tower and that chests work better. So I decided to keep the chest as is and work with that. And of course, if we head down this mountain with this nice little pathway here, I tried doing a little bit with the sides here. I'm not the best at working on mountain sides. I haven't done a whole ton of it, but this path right here leads to our to-do list. And I haven't really messed around with much of this, but we do have a to-do list where I write down all the things that we need to do in this world. So digging out the mineshaft, which we'll go to the mineshaft in a second, a chicken cooker, or making an enderman farm, or starting another hub, stuff like that we still haven't gotten to, but would be pretty cool to. I put on this to-do list, that way we can get to it at some point. Moving on, right next to it, we have our Afk Fish Farm, which I decorated up a little bit. I think it's a nice little feel to it, but it's got a whole bunch of books and stuff that we've fished up. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff down here. All the way at the bottom, you can see all the saddles and all the fish and all the fishing rods. I don't know if this thing actually works in 1.14. This was actually the most compact design I could find. Was it Doc M who showcased it? I think it was Doc M. So basically, you just stand here. Is my fishing rod in here? You just stand in here and you don't go in the water. You press forward like that. Makes a nice little sound. You can put a slab over it, I think, to get rid of the sound. But if you stand here long enough, boom, we got some sort of drop. So that does work. Okay, we can still AFK fish. That's awesome. And I just stored a whole bunch of extra books in here. I have all these extra ink sacs and name tags and bones and nautilus shells to make the conduits, and all kinds of extra books. As you can see, tons and tons of this stuff. That's how I got mending on all of my tools and whatnot. So it's very, very useful to have an AFK fish farm if you're okay with it. And on over to this side, we have a little landing down there, but if we head up, we have our New Year's resolution board. So every single year, in whatever single player world I'm currently working in, I write a New Year's resolution board. I've been doing this since I started my channel, and it's a tradition of ours, and it puts down goals that I want to have for the year. So a subscriber goal, or a followers goal on Twitch, or a server goal, or just random goals that I want to work on. These were our goals for this year, which I don't know if we're going to get hit, especially the Twitch ones, since I've stopped streaming a whole ton. But the YouTube ones would be super cool to do this year. As well as I always have 3 personal goals, things I want to do during the year. That's definitely not going to happen. I abandoned that project. But these 2 I think would be very, very, very nice to improve upon. One of the other things I love to do in this game is build bridges. And while this bridge isn't complete, this was the second bridge I decided to build in this world. It has a mixture of the stripped oak with the stripped jungle, nice jungle wood with some cobblestone here. And the whole point of this bridge is to connect up this mountain with our starter tower over here. I think it looks pretty good. It could obviously do with some improvements on the underside. There's still blocks I haven't gotten rid of, and I did this bridge months ago, but I think it looks pretty good overall. Now, if we head down to here, you can see some of the new blocks and stuff that I have just sitting down here. So we have the bamboo right here. I built a campfire recently just to test it out. And the thing most people comment about whenever I'm streaming in this world is they comment about this portal. I decided for this world, it's amplified. Why don't we go big? Why don't we go big with the builds? Make it look fantastic. And one of the things you have to go big with, if you're having big builds and scaling everything up, you gotta have big portals too. So this is the maximum size you can have another portal. I think it's like a 21 by 21 interior, something like that. 21 blocks by 21 blocks. I believe the exterior is 23 by 23. But I decided to decorate this area because this hole right here was actually already there. I just chose this location because there was already a hole between 2 land masses here and decided it'd be perfect for a portal. So I have a portal here, and I think it turned out pretty well. The key with this is to go if you're going natural, to add the leaves, to add the variation of blocks, to add the variation of stone, the variation of dirt, and to just make it look better that way. And you have to take a lot of time. It took several streams for me to actually figure out the process in making this, because this was the very first big nether portal I had ever built. So it took a while to figure out, but at the end, I think it looks pretty good. And all the feedback I've gotten so far says the same thing. Haha, burn, Skelly, burn. If we head over this way now, this was actually the first bridge I built in this world. And this is probably my favorite bridge I've built so far. You have the patchwork here with the stripped oak and the stripped jungle that I think looks pretty good. But on the other side of this is actually where the real magic has been happening as of recently. And this is my most recent build. I have been working on a jungle Aztec temple sort of thing. This will be our storage hub for hopefully the next, I don't know, 50, 100 episodes. It'll be the storage hub of this area, definitely. And essentially, I took some inspiration from Aztec-style temples that I saw online. I had a whole bunch of vines and greenery, shrubbery, a mixture of cobblestone, stone brick, cracked stone brick, all that kind of stuff, and mushed it all together and to build this little temple. And actually, if we head down inside the temple, if you go down in here, I'm using the scaffolding, by the way, to do this. We have this huge interior with a llama that I was able to capture from a wandering trader. We have this huge interior here that has worked pretty well for absolutely nothing, because we have nothing down here, but you know, a few storage bits here and there. This will eventually be something really cool, but we haven't gotten to that just yet. And if we head over back where the main base area is, the whole point of putting this temple over here was that look right there. I wanted to be able to see the temple through these two huge, well, between that huge mountain and this like smaller mountain hill thing over here. I wanted to be able to see it from here and have it sort of blend in with everything. You could just catch it out of the corner of your eye and say, wow, that looks pretty cool where it's at. And I think we've captured that pretty well so far. Obviously, it's not done. We still have a lot of detailing left to do and the inside left to do. But I think in terms of the positioning of it, I really like what I did with it. And I think I want to make sure I do stuff like that throughout all the builds I do in this world. But if we head through this pathway, across this bridge, that's not really a bridge. I just kind of put blocks here. We have our Mineshaft Entrance. Now I try to blend it in with the hill here. One of the first things I saw whenever I came from the spawn chunks, which are over there, over to this jungle biome, is I saw this area and I said, wouldn't it be cool if we had a mineshaft leading down from this area? And we do. So if we head into here, this interesting little design right here, and if we drop down here, we have a water drop that then leads into our mineshaft. Obviously, you can see it's still under construction. I haven't finished this area yet, but up to here is our mineshaft design all finished. I haven't added leaves to the ceiling, which I still need to do, but it's all finished, all good to go up to this point. I've used it a little bit, as you can see. I've gotten a fair few resources out of it, some diamonds, you know, stuff like that. Got a shulker boxes here of all kinds of different ores and dirt and stone that I've dug up. And I've used this area a lot. I tried to do a nice little design over here. My very first ever pickaxe is my wooden pickaxe that I actually named. Can we hop up there? I want to show you guys what I named it. Usually I name it like first pickaxe or something like that in all the worlds that I have. Yeah, first pick is what I named it. And I decided to have it in this sort of symmetrical hole right here. Kind of symmetrical, not really. It's kind of as close as you're going to get for a more natural look. And one of the ideas for this area as well was to have a light system. So whenever I finish a mining in a certain path and I don't want to mine it anymore, the goal is to have some sort of redstone at some point where we can flip a lever and fences will come up, and there'll be like a system that'll tell you whether or not, like red or green, whether or not you can go or whether or not we're no longer using that mine shaft. So that's a lot of the goal of that area. And I think that's something that I want to add in the future, but I'm not that great at redstone, so I'll have to work on that. But unless I forgot something, I believe that's everything over in this main base area. Like I said, it's not a whole ton. Got some nice builds going, but it needs a lot more work. So we will be doing a lot more work in this area in the next few episodes, actually in the next 10, 20, 30 episodes. But I want to take you guys over to my second favorite place. Actually, I don't know if it's second favorite, but one of my favorite places here in the world, the sandy portal and the skeleton grinder. But before I forget, before we go over there, this is what the nether looks like. It's a nether with gas that continuously annoy me, but it works and it gets me to places that I need to go, so can't really complain, right? So this is the second portal I made in the world. Well, the second giant portal I made in the world. This is the desert portal, which it comes over here to my basically sand mining area. As you can see, we mine a lot of sand over here. Just a little bit. We've mined all of this area. Just enough for me to use, I suppose, for whatever projects I have. I used a lot of birch and sandstone in this one. I think it worked out pretty well. All the large portals, I've been trying to use them or to build them in the theme of the area, and that's the theme of this area. So I think it turned out pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with it. But probably my favorite part of this area is the skeleton grinder. The grinder's back, or the spawner's back there somewhere, but I decided to make a skeleton grinder over here because I found a skeleton spawner, and we have the portal right here. We have a bit of an enchanting setup with a lot of anvils. I need some grindstones over here now that 1.14 is released. The skeletons drop down here and should be one-hit kills. And we have all of our storage over here. As you can see, I have used this a little bit, not too much, but I've used it a little bit. There's all the bows in here and all the armor and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very, very useful thing to have. It's what I've used for most of my XP grinding outside of, nether quartz for this world so far. Once we get an Enderman farm, it won't be a big deal. But for now, this place is pretty darn useful. The third major big portal for this world is this one. This is the swamp portal. And I think it's probably the worst portal I've made. Mainly because there's no way to get up. Like, you have to sort of jump all over these blocks and jump from here to here to here to here to here all the way to get up to the top here. It's just not really worth it. So if I made a better way up, that'd be pretty cool. A staircase up the middle just, I think, would have looked weird. But the whole reason that we have this portal is because my cow farm, which is not a very good cow farm, but it is a cow farm, is over here. And the reason it's over here and not at the main base is because I couldn't find any cows in the jungle. So either I made the cow farm here, or I'd have to transport two of them all the way across this swamp to our jungle that's over there. And that was just too much work. So I just decided to make the cow farm over here and make this cow heaven, or cow haven. Cow heaven would be way up there, but cow haven, not a bad idea. So that's the only reason that we really have this area right now. I would love to build an actual farming area over here. That'd be pretty cool. But for now, it's literally just a cow farm. And the last big portal that we have, which I think is my least favorite, actually, even compared to the last one that we just looked at, is the end portal room. Now, the goal of this room was to use sort of end portal. That's a lot of lag. End portal themed stuff here. So the black concrete to make it look dark, and the end stone and brick over here. And we have the weird looking dragon head, which has a lever behind it, which, because this thing can be redstone activated, it basically just moves the mouth up and down. And we have the dragon egg up there, which if we can pillar our way up. What does it say? We defeated the dragon on, wow, October 20th, 2018. Holy moly. That was quite a bit ago now that I think about it. That's interesting. But yep, this is all that we really have for the end. I haven't done an Enderman farm really. I mean, and by really, I mean I haven't done an Enderman farm yet. But this is what we have. And the whole point of this area is when you walk into here, you have the big portal and you walk over glass and you can see down below. I thought about just not having the glass here and being able to walk down there, but I think the glass looks pretty good actually, and it allows us to walk all the way around this thing, which I think is actually a pretty cool little thing. So we might change it at some point, but for now I think it's pretty cool. So yep, this is all we've done for the end. I have plans to make an Enderman farm and do things with the end, but that's a little ways away. Also, we have a giant pigman problem here, if you couldn't tell. There's a lot of pigmen. They've probably gone back through the portal now as well, or in there. That's a scary thought. And the final stop on our world tour is this place. This is my villager breeding area. This is an old villager breeder that was made before the 1.14 update. It still uses doors. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix this. We have a backup of villagers. We have villagers who are gonna get very angry because there's no beds. Obviously, the new villager breeders work off of beds, so we have to fix all of that. Not to mention, if we fly over here, like way over here, I've stored a bunch of villagers over here. You can see a whole bunch of these that I've traded with that are being stored in there. But we also have most of our villagers stored in this little area right here. We have a bunch of our librarians that I use that I've been trying to figure out how the heck these things work. Obviously, because we traded with these guys before the 1.14 update, they kept their trades. But these guys over here, for whatever reason, I don't understand villager breeders or just villagers in general in the new update. So I don't know how these guys get their professions, but we're going to have to figure that out. I know we use functional blocks, but these are functional blocks and they're not working. So we'll have to figure that out. I don't know how exactly it works. We might have to test it on new villagers and see what comes out of it. And there used to be a village over here, and I've torn out the village. Actually, it extended over this way. You can see one of the old villagers up here, but there used to be a village over here, and you can see some of them are just chilling down there. I decided to tear it out, obviously because it used to work off of doors, is how the villager breeders worked, and so I was afraid it was going to interfere with my villager breeder over there. So I just tore it out because who really needed it anyways? And now that doesn't really matter because I could have kept it because now villagers don't work off of doors. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. That's just kind of how it works sometimes. And that is a wrap on this world tour, ladies and gentlemen. We have the comment for today, but if I didn't miss anything and you guys remembered it, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I'll write it down and make sure I include it in the next world tour, which will be 20 episodes from now. I'm trying to do world tours and world downloads every 20 episodes because I think that's enough time to get quite a bit done in between world tours. And I actually really like doing these things because it reminds me of all the projects that I have not finished and need to go back and finish. So yeah, it's a wonderful time. It's actually not that bad, but anyways, guys, we have the comment for today, and today's comment is from a user by the name of Sammy J, who said, I love this world style and builds. Is there an episode where you do a quick walkthrough of the world? Well, I guess there isn't one where I do a quick walkthrough. I doubt this was very quick for you guys, but there is now an episode where I go through all of my builds. I thought this comment was extremely funny because I had already planned on doing a world tour today. So thanks, Sam. Thanks for reminding me that people do actually want world tours. I always forget about that, but as much as I love doing them, I sometimes forget that people actually do want them. As weird as that is, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Anyways, guys, like I said at the very beginning of today's episode, the world download will be in the description below if you'd like to download this world and mess around with it, explore some of the things that I didn't show off today, because there's a handful of things that are really, really minor that didn't need to be showed off. I didn't explain these crops. There's like stuff behind this nether portal over here that I didn't explain at all, and a few minimal things that I haven't really explained. Feel free to download the world and let me know what you guys think. Anyways, guys, like I said, I was going to wrap up today's video. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Fyr's Frontier. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead, smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new and or not already subscribed. Anyways, guys, take care, and I'll see you later.